So thanks for giving me a hand today. That's
You're
really good. Obviously the idea of today is to tell some other people about some of the experience you've had through the coaching. First of all, happy birthday. Your
Thank
birthday
you.
today. So tell me a little bit about what it was you wanted to achieve out of your coaching when you first started. I know it was a bit of an accidental thing. We didn't really plan on doing some coaching to start with. So how did it all come about?
It came about through injury and dealing with going from what I can't do to what I can do.
Yep.
Because I was very stuck in the I can't do that.
Yep. So at the time you were doing karate.
Yep.
And I remember you having a few problems with being encouraged and being empowered to do what it was you wanted to do, and you found that very frustrating.
Very frustrating.
Do you remember some of the early sessions we did and some of the things we focused on?
Yeah, we focused on changing my phrasing.
Right.
From I can't do that to I'm unable to do that at the moment.
Yeah.
Just adding those not definite endings to things. So I'm not going, I can't, and that's it. It's we can change that, and we're going to change that in time.
So when we started, did you recognise that was a challenge for you, or was that something that came about as part of the training?
It actually came about when I started training going from the one school to your school.
Yep.
Because in my old school, it was, she can't do that, just go over stuff. Yeah, get over there, you'll be fine.
Right.
Went to training with you and, yeah, you can do this. No, I can't.
Yeah.
How do I do that?
Yeah.
That's where, so no, I didn't notice it until that point.
Yeah.
And we had a few conversations on that.
Absolutely. I remember some of the early conversations we had was around changing your language.
Yep.
Some of the words you were used were very disempowering.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still find that's a challenge for you?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes when, especially if I've re-injured something.
Yep.
It's very easy to fall back into, yeah, well, no, you can't do that, so.
Yeah.
But it's also a lot more recognisable and I can catch it a little bit more often than I used to.
So what are some of the things, obviously, we originally started focusing on some of your language and feeling like there's things that you can do, and you felt very disempowered. What are some of the other things that you've noticed that we've worked throughout? How long have we been doing the coaching for now that you remember?
Got to be nearly 16 months. 16
months.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you remember that we've worked through over that period of time? Obviously there's been a fair bit.
We've done a big gamut of things.
Yeah.
We've gone from just working on the, what can I put it as? Self-belief, maybe, that I can actually get there and do something. And it's led into, what have we gone through? We've gone through weight loss, we've gone through, it's okay to actually be me. It's all good to do that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And you had obviously some family challenges that you were working through and some challenges that were brought up from the past, emotional challenges that we've worked through as well, and obviously those weren't part of the intention.
No, they were an unexpected but really beneficial sideline.
Yeah. So you mentioned weight, so I think originally we didn't plan on working through a weight loss program. The idea was
that wasn't even a shadow of a thought to start with.
Yeah. And we started that, do you remember how long ago it was that we started looking at losing some weight?
Yeah, exactly a year ago today.
Okay, that's great. And obviously today was one of your milestones that you were looking to hit. So you've lost how much in total?
Just 40.3,
41 kilos.
I think it is.
Yeah.
So 40.3 kilos.
That's a massive amount of weight. And what's different for you now? What's changed as far as how you feel in life, emotionally, physically? What's changed with losing the weight in particular?
Losing weight, more energetic.
Right.
Also, honestly, I feel I can do more things.
Right.
Injury aside, some of that is harder, but a year ago I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I couldn't walk to the shop or back.
Yeah.
And I can walk a 2 kilometre hill walk every day now, so that's a big improvement.
Yeah.
Emotionally, I feel good. I just feel good with getting it done.
So you mentioned injury. Obviously, I know you have some issues as far as your knees in particular. You've had some other injuries along the way.
Yeah.
And we've obviously worked pretty hard on overcoming challenges when they come your way, because obviously nothing's ever perfect and things will come about. Through the coaching, did we worked through some of the issues emotionally that were attached with having the injuries in your knees, and what did you find was useful out of the coaching?
That's a good question. A lot of it was useful. I would get frustrated at getting frustrated, and that doesn't happen as often now.
Right.
The tools that we had, that you gave me for that, were, I don't always use them. I do forget them, and I later on go, I could have done that there. But dealing with that side of things, to go, it is okay to get frustrated with that, but don't stay there.
Yep.
Feel it, acknowledge it, move on.
Yeah. So you've had some pretty significant challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Despite that, you've lost 40 odd kilos.
Mm-hmm.
And the training we worked on obviously wasn't around diet and exercise.
No. It was very little on that, really. What
do you think was the coaching that we did that helped as far as the weight was concerned? What did you get out of that?
Belief. Up here.
Yeah.
You know, if someone else can believe that you can do it, well, then maybe you can.
Yeah.
You know, it's very easy to self-talk out of something.
Yeah.
It's okay. No one else going to know that happened.
Yeah.
It's okay. You deserve that. You know, oh, we had a bad day today. It doesn't matter. You might as well finish the week off that way.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't help. But when you go, someone's believing in me for no benefit on their behalf.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do it.
Yeah.
And it stops that. It's all right to have that.
Yeah. I remember one of the main challenges we worked with for you was, again, language, disempowering language. You know, we talked about the spiral and how you can either spiral down or spiral up.
Upwards, yeah.
And how your language changes your beliefs about yourself, about what you think your potential is, and that's then going to change your results, and your results will determine your language again and how that spirals. And I know you found that particularly valuable. Do you think changing your language helped as far as your weight loss journey?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It went from stepping on a scale and going, oh, well, you've only lost, or you've gained a kilo, or you've lost 200 grams. Oh, wow, that's not the greatest effort, is it?
Yeah.
To, you've lost 200 grams.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I did gain any weight in the time, it was, right, you gained a bit of weight, what are you going to do to get rid of it?
Do you find, you mentioned about if you had a weight gain, and obviously that was some challenges you faced from time to time throughout that period. It wasn't just a straight loss. There was ups and downs throughout that whole journey, and obviously there's still some journey to go when you continue working on that. Do you find you were able to bounce back faster if you had issues?
As opposed to beforehand?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 What changed? What was different?
It had to be just the words. The words that I heard myself saying.
Yep.
Changing it from the complete and utter negative to, you can get away, you can go around that, you can go through it.
Yeah.
If we can't go around it, well, guess what, we'll turn left and go on a different road.
Yeah.
There's always a way.
Yeah.
It's not a dead end.
Yeah. So what were some of the other things, we've talked about weight, what were some of the other things that you're happy to share that we worked through, and some of the changes it made to your life? Because obviously what I see now is very, very different as far as how you are now as opposed to where you were a couple of years ago.
Yep.
So what were some of the other changes that you noticed in your life in particular through doing some coaching?
Confidence in my decisions.
Okay.
Many times I would make decisions and then I would back off of them.
Yeah.
I am going to do that, or I'm not going to do that, and then I would talk myself out of it, even if that's the best thing for me.
Yeah.
I would allow, how can I put it? I would allow what I thought other people expected me to do to influence what I knew was right for me.
Yeah. And how did that feel inside?
Before, as opposed to now?
Before, yeah.
Awful.
Right.
Dark. Didn't like it at all.
Okay.
Now I make decisions, and if I know it's the right one for me, well, that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Do you find you're able to move on things quicker again because you're more secure in your decisions?
Yeah, if I make a decision now, I stick with it.
Yeah.
That's the way it's going to go, that's the way it's going to be, and I'm going to go that way.
Yeah.
I don't spend and waste time. Oh, but maybe they're right.
Yeah.
I can be right, and it is okay to do that.
Has that made a real tangible difference in your life though? Yeah. What sort of things?
A few relationships with people that I have. I've ended a couple of relationships because they were not beneficial to me.
Yeah.
and I've made some new ones which have been extremely beneficial. So
Yeah.
ones I probably wouldn't have done at all through fear.
Yeah, I understand. I remember one of the sessions we worked through. We talked about quality people in relationships
Yes.
and how you will tend to assimilate with those people you associate with, and it was pretty clear that sometimes you need to cut some branches from the tree.
Absolutely.
And we worked through that a fair bit.
We did spend a fair bit of time on that one.
Yeah, and that allowed you to, I guess, associate with some people that are going to empower you to move forward, as opposed to pull you
back.
Yeah. And that can really help with obviously some of the challenges where you've got supporting people around you, and that's
as opposed to the negative talk that other people do as well.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you find the training? What did you find, in particular in the early training? How did you feel about going through the process?
Some of it I was a bit dubious about.
Okay.
You'd give me something to do and I'd be like, I can't see how that's going to work. Just changing one word or just a different viewpoint from it. It's not going to make that much of a difference, but it really does.
Yeah. One
word is all it takes.
Yeah. One of the common perceptions I come across is that coaching is a little bit airy-fairy, a little bit weak. Was that one of your original perceptions?
I don't think so. It was just, how is that going to work? How is somebody else saying, try this, going to work when I have something that I firmly 100% believe in?
Yeah.
But then it's question that, and then, I don't know whether it was, I thought it was, a bit kooky or anything, but it was certainly different.
Yeah. I noticed, we were talking just before we started this interview and you mentioned about trust was a real challenge through the early coaching.
Very much so.
Yeah. Can you maybe talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I find it very difficult to trust another person with my thoughts, my feelings and my stories as such. And I know a couple of times you'd ask me something and I would just be, and you knew, and just went past, and as time went on you'd ask the question again.
Yeah.
And I'd answer it because it was a little bit more, okay, there's trust built up. A normal trust level, people go, oh yeah, I've been talking to her for a few weeks, it's fine. It takes me months to get to there.
Yeah.
And it took a while to build up. And I knew that I could trust you. It wasn't that I didn't know that anyway.
Yeah.
Just getting it there.
And obviously we worked through some very personal stuff. Yeah. Stuff we're not going to share in this particular chat. And it took some time before some of that stuff came out.
Yeah.
And that trust was built up, and also to actually gain confidence in some of the tools that we worked through, because obviously some of the tools we worked through were very specific. I want you to do these steps and these things, and we spoke a lot about writing stuff down, creating journals and all those sorts of things. So,
which is extremely valuable.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time on that. So what you're looking back now, as we said, looking forward, it was a little bit, maybe a bit uncertain. What's your view now as you look back on the coaching as a whole? Do you find it was valuable? What was valuable about it? What's your general view of coaching as a whole?
I think everyone should do it.
What's that?
Again, you can tell yourself something 1,000 times and believe it. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true.
Yeah.
You get an objective outside opinion, someone who's not trying to either suck you in to do something that they want you to do. You get that third person perspective on something, and they can give you something that you didn't even see.
Yeah.
When you start noticing that stuff, you go, hang on, am I right in what I say?
Yeah.
And when you really question it, sometimes you're not. There's been a few things that we've spoken about and I've gone, oh, that's actually not what I really mean.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's sort of like a veil that you put up just to not let other people know what you're really thinking.
I know quite a few times we've had those moments where you've just gone, oh my God, I didn't realise I do that,
Yeah.
Where we've gone through and just, we haven't necessarily changed the behaviour, but at least brought the behaviour to the forefront to say, hey, I am negative in this, or I am doing that, and made you very aware of what you do and how you speak, obviously to yourself more than anybody else. That's the main thing.
Yeah. So, self-talk, big thing.
So you said obviously everybody should do coaching, and that's a given. Obviously, you've had some great results.
Absolutely.
And it's made a huge impact to your life. Now, you had a lot of things that you wanted to fix, so to speak, and I use the term loosely, fix. Obviously, my goal is not to fix anything; it's to redirect your attention, to make you aware of what your current behaviour is, so you can make better choices. That's really what it's all about. Do you think that someone who doesn't have anything they want to fix per se, but they just have the next goal they want to achieve, do you think it would be valuable for someone like that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to have that sounding board.
Yeah.
Just that other person to go, you know, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
And they're not necessarily going to tell you what they think of it.
Yeah.
They might point out things that you hadn't seen yourself.
Yeah.
But you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, if you've got a goal that you want to achieve, I think you'd be a bit crazy if you didn't try it.
You mentioned a sounding board. What do you think might be some of the difference between just say a trusted friend and a coach? What do you think would be, because anyone can go to a trusted friend and get a sounding board, right? So what's the difference between just a friend or and a coach?
Well, sometimes your friends aren't going to tell you what they know is going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to hurt you. They don't want to, they don't want to see you upset at something that they're saying. You're not going to a coach to hold your hand. You're not going there to get patted on the back. You're going there for them to help you get better.
Yeah.
And the way to get better is to fix things that correct things that you're doing, to yourself.
Yeah.
So your friends aren't necessarily going to point that stuff out to you.
Yeah.
Because it's going to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
But you get someone who doesn't have that emotional attachment, they're not going to go, oh, you know what, you shouldn't be wearing purple. Your friends might tell you that.
Yeah.
But your coach is going to go, is that really the smartest decision for you?
Yeah.
And then you get to go, no, it's not.
So someone to keep you accountable for your own thoughts
your own
and
actions
decisions.
and thoughts, yeah.
Yeah.
One who isn't going to go, well, this is going to upset them, so I can't tell them that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So the sessions we've worked through have obviously been a combination of just casual conversation like this and some quite formal, structured sessions where we've gone through various techniques or whatnot. I remember some of the ones we've worked through is the bubble one, for example, or we did the Benny Hill thing. Was there one particular session that you just kind of went, wow, that's powerful? Was there something in particular that you remember stood out?
Yeah. When we were dealing with the really bad case of insomnia that I was having at the time.
Insomnia, that's right. We worked through that.
Yeah, I don't think I'd slept for nearly 4 days.
Yeah.
And we did the bubble.
Yeah. So I'm just going to stop you there for a second. Can you just perhaps explain where you were at before with your insomnia and where you got to perhaps at your best? Yeah.
Yeah. So the insomnia had gotten to a point where I wouldn't sleep for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
And then I might get 3 or 4 hours sleep.
Right. And that was an ongoing basis for how long? Several years?
That level would probably have been just over 2 years.
Okay.
At that level. Before that might have been an hour or two sleep every day or two.
Right. Okay.
But then it did get really bad where there'd be 2 or 3 days, sometimes 4.
Yeah.
And then I'd just crash. Yeah. I'd be unconscious for a while.
Yeah.
It got to a really bad point when we started addressing it. We did, it just surprises me now and it makes me laugh, a single hour's exercise.
Yep.
We did 2 different exercises in that session.
Yep.
With that one, the bubble. I went home and slept 12 hours that night, and since that night I've slept between 3 and 5 hours every night.
There you go. And that's been consistent ever since. And that was after a 1 hour session.
That was after a 1 hour session.
Yeah.
And no medications, none of that sort of rubbish.
Yeah.
Just straight out one technique.
Yeah. And medication you mentioned is another point. That's something that we've obviously helped with you. Medication has been was significant for you, and that's been considerably dropped as well.
Yeah, to nearly nothing.
Yeah, which is dramatic given the issues with your knees and the pain relief that was required.
Yeah.
So we've obviously made some huge inroads. So the bubble one was the big one for
That's the one that always stands out.
Right. What was it about that particular exercise that made it so effective?
No idea. I wish I knew what it was, but there's nothing that I can pinpoint to go, that's what it was. That's the reason that I can sleep now.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole exercise there was obviously beneficial, points from it, but that one just really got the. I mean, I remember sitting here, and I was just about to leave, and he looked at me. You look like you're ready to sleep now.
Yeah, and you still had a long drive to go.
Yeah, I had a while to go. Yeah.
But nevertheless, you got, as you said, 12 hours sleep.
12 hours sleep that night. Yeah,
which was
great.
unprecedented for you, really.
I hadn't done that, not through choice.
Yeah.
For a very long time.
So as we said, we started this journey really just looking at how can you improve your view for yourself in sport, really.
Yeah, that's it.
And we've obviously worked on a whole range of things that you didn't expect.
Mm-hmm.
And we've discovered a whole lot of things about yourself that, as you said, we've worked through a lot of emotional problems. We've helped with insomnia, medication, losing weight, improving your sports dramatically, and even found, your injuries were less of a problem as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is there one particular thing that stands out where you went, I didn't even realise that's an issue, I didn't expect it to change? Is there anything that kind of stands out for you and you just went, wow?
There's so many things. I don't think there's any one.
Okay, what's a couple of things that you remember that were just a bit of a surprise?
One of the things we were talking about with training, there was one of the techniques we do that I went, I'm not going to do it. I'm no way am I going to do that. You looked at me and went, you are. And I didn't know that I did this, but it was, I'm okay if it slowed me down.
Yeah.
But if I slow someone else down,
yeah,
I didn't like it, and that was a tool you used to get me to do something that I could do. I'll admit now.
Yeah.
But I was too chicken to do it at the time.
That's right.
As soon as you pointed that out, I go, oh. Yeah. Right. Okay.
So I remember
leverage.
That's right. One of the things we worked on more recently was self-worth.
Yes.
And what we realised for you was that you do pretty much anything for anyone else.
Yes.
But not necessarily for yourself.
Not necessarily for me.
And when we worked through the spiral again, what we realised was the impact that was having on you was pretty dramatic because you didn't see yourself as worthy.
Yeah.
And didn't spend the time on that,
Mm-hmm.
And that's obviously been something we've worked through recently, and you've found significant benefits to that.
Benefits to that already. So.
Yeah. We'll finish up in a second. Has the coaching journey been an emotional one? Has it been a roller coaster?
Yeah, it has been at times.
Yeah.
But I think it's a roller coaster on the this is getting so much better way. There's times when you sit there and you go, I can't do that. And then you look at it and go, well, that's the whole reason I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why we're having these conversations, so that I can do that.
Yeah. Or
I can work out a way around it. And if I can't work it out, ask questions.
Yeah.
Learn how to do that.
Yeah.
It's a good emotional journey.
Yeah. And it's certainly been a challenging one.
Well, yeah.
For both of us. I mean, I've learned as a coach as well, some new tools and some ways to work around things when I don't quite get the answer, and that's been really great for me as well. So we've both grown through the process, and thank you for that. So
thank you.
We'll close it off, but just want to say thanks. Well done. We've obviously got a lot still to go.
Yes.
It's a continuing journey.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be good though.
Thanks for taking some time to tell a few people about where we've gone with your coaching so far.
Thank you.